Good afternoon, everybody. Auronnj here with another War of the Visions PvP showcase video, and today we are showcasing Duane, and we're showcasing him specifically with non-dark units. As you can see on the screen, slot 2 and slot 3 in our groups today are going to be 0 other dark units. Is this the smartest idea? No, it's probably not the smartest idea. Duane's passive literally buffs dark units in your group, but I have gotten a ton of questions saying, hey, I don't have a very deep dark roster. Should I still go for Duane? There's still a week left. I could still finish him. Is he worth it? And so I wanted to do some PvP today against, I'm going to do people in my guild, in mock guild battles, so I know they're running level 99 units with max vision cards and +5 gear and all that stuff, because I know the people in my guild and I know they have that stuff on their Guild Wars defense. And I'm going to not use any dark units. And I think you're going to see what his strengths and weaknesses are running with things that maybe he wasn't built to run with specifically, and he's going to play a different role in really each group that I play him in. So for equipment and stuff today, I left up his base set of equipment that I use most of the time, but I will change that. I'll make tweaks to that in each one of the builds, and I'll kind of go over that as we go through the video. So let's jump into the fights. Okay, for our first team that is not dark, we are bringing a status effect team to the table here. I think this is going to be one that is very, very popular with Duane, at least the Agrius part of this. The third player in this you could really replace with a healer or maybe another tank, and I think it would be just as good, but I want to go all in for the slashing damage and status effects, so I'm going to put Christmas Ramada in there. She has Paralyzing Edge to get some paralysis. Duane has his AoE disable, and I have a lot of his other moves turned off, so he'll prioritize the AoE disable. Agrius, I mean, everybody knows what she brings. She's going to bring Confusion, Single Target Disable, and AoE Stop. So let's see if our status effects can kind of overcome the other team. Let's see how, let's see if RNGesus blesses this team. Our opponent for the first fight is going to be an Agrius, Kane, or Landu team. So mixed damage types with their own tank Agrius, Kane, and Orlandu. Let's see how it goes. Let's see if we can drop some clutch status effects on them. Okay, battle starts with enemy Agrius popping bells. Ramada is the fastest person on our team. She's going to be running the Zombie Ryu TMR, which gives her access to Revive, which really helps her not die from the very first AoE she takes, because she's pretty susceptible to that. She's a character who's really going to like Duane's slash attack buff. So one thing, any great sword user, right? Like any warrior sub job, or warrior main job, soldier main job, excuse me, is gonna love Duane for that buff. Okay, there's our first status effect. We successfully land Confusion on the enemy Agrius, and the rest of the team just kind of moving up into position, so on. There's a dragon, or there's a jump from Kane. Uh-oh. We break the Confusion, but we disable her. So that's great. So far, so good. That's exactly what we want the comp to do. Agrius goes with Taunting Blade. She is still running that because I do need to keep people off of Ramada. Agrius tanks too much, though, ends up going down. Duane with the auto. There's Paralyzing Edge. We land our third status effect of the fight and actually kill Orlandu in the process, so that's good. Now Duane's going to use some of that passive hate that he brings. We kill the Christmas Ramada. Duane goes back to buffing and stands right next to our DPS unit to set up that AoE damage. Paralyzing Edge, another Paralyze lands. We're going to finish him off before it has a chance to affect the fight. But you could really see there how Duane is a great complement to status effect based teams with Agrius and maybe somebody else who brings status effects. Or again, I think you could replace Ramada there with Ayaka or with Leela or Ildira or something like that, and just focus on keeping your two main status effect dealers alive. Although Ramada did a very good job in that fight, putting Paralyze on people. Okay, our second non-dark based team for Duane is going to feature a couple really unique things. One, it's a magic based team that is going to utilize Quicken on Duane. Duane, with that passive hate, will catch the first Quicken from Skull in this comp. Also, this team comp is not utilizing Duane's vision card. It's instead utilizing Path to Revenge, which gives Duane another 10 defense and gives the group slash attack up 20, which Zombie Ryu is going to like. So let's see how this team fares in a fight. Our opponent for this fight is running a I call this standard, right? Where you have a tank, you have a healer slash support, and you have one really high DPS. In this case, we have Warrior of Light, Ayaka, and Ruinstern. Let's see how we do against standard with this comp. Keep in mind, with Path to Revenge, we needed to target a team that was running physical-based damage, because we are boosting Duane's defense more than anything else. Ruinstern might not be the best category for this, because he has defense penetration. No, he has slash attack penetration, so take that back. Defense is a good idea for him. Whoops. But here we go. Now, in this case, Duane's going to use bells, which is great, and then he's going to catch the Quicken from Skull right here. And let's see, he's actually going to be in range to do something on his first turn. So here we go. We get to see Duane's limit break right away. And, you know, right into Warrior of Light, so not a ton of damage. But he's out there way in front, tanking everyone's attacks by himself. That's what we want. Ryu and Skull are going to slowly just kind of work their way into this fight. There's Ryu, here's Skull, here's the second Quicken, which goes onto Ryu, which will get him into the battle now. Good, Drain Evocation. So Ryu's totally buffed up and ready to go now. And, in the process, has not had to get caught in any AoEs. Now, looking at what Duane just did, I would probably go back and take Killing Axe off. I would rather have him using his status effect base attacks, things like that. And he goes down here. But, as the tank, he went in there and tanked forever. In fact, he might have been too fast, but he did set the other team up to just get out here and get smashed by our really high DPS mages. Ayaka got full life channeling. She's going to cast this on nobody. It was Kiraga. Oh, whoops, that's unfortunate. Now she's charging full life, and oh, she's going to live through the hazard slash, but Skull big brains it, breaks out his limit break, and is going to kill her with it. Bang. So there you go. Was that perfect? No, it wasn't perfect. There's some tweaks I would make to that, but you can see how Duane was able to function as a tank. He tanked a lot of hits, and he was able to utilize his passive hate to be the target of Quicken from the AI, which got him way out in front and kept the rest of our team very, very safe. Okay, for our third fight today, we are going to run Duane as the carry in a traditional comp. So we have a tank, Engelbert, a healer, Ayaka, and Duane is going to be our carry. In this build, I have Duane on sub Viking with basically just everything left on, and I'm letting him use bells. The idea being here, I want him to buff his own slash attack, then just have enough AP to do whatever he wants in the fight, and see if by unlocking him in that way, he can solo carry a fight. Now the build here too, he's not using his vision card in this, he's using Iron Giant to give him more slash attack and give the group slash resist. Engelbert is wearing Vow of Love, and Vow of Love and Duane's vision card don't belong in the same group because they both give the group attack buff. And then Ayaka's bringing Echoing Screams just to buff the whole group's slash attack, really power up Duane and see what he can do. We need to find a slashing team to fight. This group is very, very anti-slash, so let's see what we can find. Okay, here is a completely slash attack group. Now this group is going to hit really, really hard. Gilgamesh plus Ruinstern is a lot of damage, and maybe even too much for Engelbert to deal with that elemental weakness built in there between Ruinstern and Engelbert. But let's jump in, let's see how things go, and let's see if Duane can function as the solo carry. Alright, no surprise that Engelbert's going to be the last person to go in this squad, but we did bring Ayaka, so she'll have haste for him, which should help some. Now, Duane moves into a great spot and hits both other members of the team with his slash attack buff. That's important because if he would have only hit one of them, he would have prioritized spending his second turn finding the person he hadn't buffed yet and buffing them again instead of using bells. And we really want Duane to use bells on this turn right here so he has enough AP to use all of his expensive AP skills throughout this fight. Okay, enemy team has support Gilgamesh, which is really good. It functions a lot like support Skull that we just saw. Decent damage there from our Engelbert. Then he takes the Hazard Crusher, which will bait out Ayaka's Limit Break. So we're down one big cooldown instantly. And that's that Engelbert had to take the Limit Break from Ayaka after just one attack from Runestern. So if that's any sign on how this fight's going to go, Engelbert's going to have a sad day. Okay, here's Duane's first chance to get in on the action. He's going to find his Limit Break onto Warrior of Light, the worst possible target, but he does a little bit of damage. Engelbert walks up, hits somebody, that's good. Okay, Engelbert's still tanking. Ayaka going to get him a Curaga here. So Engelbert is doing okay. He's in trouble here, I think. Yeah, there's Courage, so he's still up. There's Darkness. So a big damage from Darkness and lands a really nice disable on the enemy tank. So that's cool. Now, Ayaka's kind of in a weird position here. I would have liked for her to move up and heal somebody on our team, or full life Engelbert. She did not do that. Gilgamesh, though, in full support mode, is just going to haste him. Haste nobody, which is fine. Haste from Ayaka onto Duane. Now, Duane is still tanky enough here that he's able to take a few hits and not be overly concerned about it, which is really nice. Let's see what Ayaka's charging here. Oh, we're not going to get to see it, because Duane actually cleans up the fight. Now, if that was full life that she was charging at Engelbert, I would have much rather seen that go off before Duane killed Gilgamesh, but overall, I'd say Duane functioned pretty effectively as the carry there. Ended the fight with 3,500 HP left, and not only does he do a lot of damage, he's a true high damage bruiser. He took a lot of hits, and he was fine. He wasn't like a Christmas Ramada, or these other squishy units like regular Stern, who if you catch them, they're probably going to die. So he really functioned well in the role of a high damage bruiser type. Wasn't very effective at doing damage to the tanks, but did kill all three people on the enemy team. Alright, those are our fights for the day. I thought it went really well. I was fighting people from my own guild in mock guild battles there. That way I know for a fact that their units are optimized. They're using max level vision cards, and that they're using +5 gear. Everyone in my guild just does that, so I wasn't worried about running into like maybe a cheat, like maybe I cheese a matchup by finding somebody who's not using good gear or something like that. To make Duane work, one thing that makes him very, very flexible is you can just go into his abilities and you can swap out like Viking Lore and Swift Shadow if you want him to have that aggro or you don't want him to have that aggro. That's really good. I really liked Viking Sub. It's the one I've been using the most, but if you really want to, you can sub it out for Dragoon Sub if you want to see him in a piercing group. I don't think I need to show off what Kane and Duane can do anymore. I think that's very well understood, so I didn't do that here, but know that it is an option. With Viking, heck, I don't even have all the stuff maxed in Viking yet, but Launch is a good low-cost ability. Rebellious Spirit buffs attack and defense, great for a bruiser, and Killing Axe, he has a hard time finding a way to use Killing Axe, especially on this map where people tend to stand in like a straight line and not a line across from you, but I think this might be one of his highest damaging moves if he can ever find a way to use it. So by tweaking his abilities, you can make him into a tank a true bruiser or almost a true carry. I mean, he's really close to being that true carry level of damage. And that's fantastic. So I thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or you want to see anything specifically, leave me a comment in the chat, and I will see you all next time.